So we could start, I guess, just with a couple deep breaths as usual, just to kind of feel into things. And leave everything behind. All of our stresses and worries about everything that happened today, and everyone's posts and not worrying about what's going to happen later. I'm just going to focus right now and enjoy this moment. And as usual, envision this room with really bright white light and purple protection light as well around the whole building, around everywhere outside. And see that light around yourself as well, like your aura. And we can see that around each other. And we can also see this light going through our body, starting from the top of our head, going through our throat, our arms and our hands, our stomachs, legs, and our feet. We're very safe and surrounded with a lot of light and love right now. And every time you breathe in, you can imagine that you're bringing this light to every organ of your body as well. We have many internal organs that work very hard for us every day, and they deserve a lot of light and a lot of love and appreciation. Especially our heart, and it is Valentine's Day, so we're going to really just give thanks to our heart for beating naturally every day without us having to strain or stress. And as we sleep as well, our heart continually beats to the perfect rhythm. You can envision a really vibrant green light around your heart, which is always associated with your heart chakra. You may also see pinks, but there's a lot of green in this area. And sometimes people have a negative association with green. They may think of money, and they get stressed out, or they think of greed or jealousy. There's many positive attributes to green, like the spring freshness that comes every year. We can think of plants. There's also a lot of things you can eat and drink that are green that will help to open up your heart area. So this is something to practice at any time throughout the year. It's something to keep in mind. Even envisioning that the room you're in is green, or that you have an extra green ring around your aura as well, will help you feel connected to love. So this green light is shining out from your heart, and this light encompasses your whole body, in this whole room, everyone in the room, and everyone in the building, and everyone around can see this and can feel this light. As I said, you may also see some pinks. You can surround the whole world with this green loving light or pink loving light, whatever kind of light that you feel is appropriate. And every time you do this, and every time you practice doing this, it truly is felt by all. And we've talked about this before, where we may not always be conscious of why we feel a certain way. But if someone were to walk in this room right now and not even know what we're envisioning, they'd be able to feel all of this love. Even people passing on the streets or driving by right now may not be consciously aware of what's going on in this room at this very moment. But rest assured that they definitely do feel this amazing vibration. And again, this is something you can practice at any time, any day, not just once a year. And that's the message of unconditional love. To love yourself as you are. To accept your flaws, to accept that you're experiencing the perfect things at the perfect time. That you are going through this human experience, and though at times it's very, very difficult and you have many challenges, and you may interact with other humans that kind of mirror things to you that are difficult for you to look at within yourself. But send light and love to those people as well, because they are perfectly on your path, and you are also mirroring back to them what they need to see within themselves. And it's not up to us to force someone to look at what's within them. And sometimes we just feel frustrated when we see things about ourselves that we don't want to see, and we feel things that we don't want to feel. But as we always say, these things are coming up for a reason, for your growth. And think of green, again, it's growth. You're growing like a plant, like a tree. And we grow in spurts sometimes, and sometimes we have to stop and rest, much like an oak tree. You know, it grows very tall, and then it just kind of stops for a while and takes time to rest, to ponder, to retreat, to just feel, to allow a wide range of emotions, to just be. And once you come to a greater place of acceptance, you continue to grow up. And then at some point, when it's the right time, you'll take a rest again. And this is just going to keep on going for the rest of your life. So send extra gratitude to those who you've encountered in this life, whether it's recently or far back in your past. I'm sure there are certain specific souls that you can think of who both bring out the best in you, but they can also bring out the worst sides of you, because they can touch your heart, and they can make you feel very loved and very loving and lovable. They can also touch your wounds as well. And again, this is just to mirror to you what's inside of you that's asking for your love, for your attention, because nobody can go in your heart and heal those things for you. This is all a learning process. It doesn't matter who you pay to try to fix things for you. At the end of the day, at the end of your life, we all have our own soul paths and plans. And though our relationships help us to grow greatly, we are whole as one soul individually. And that's how we come into this world, And that's how we go out of this world and back into spirit. And many people, as you know, get caught up in relationships and define themselves as their romantic relationships or as their friendships. Even family relationships, sometimes we get lost in how we connect with another soul, with another being, with another human. But love itself is so much bigger than this. And we are sent unconditional love all the time. No matter what you believe in, there's always a huge amount of love in this universe that's always being sent to you every single second of every day. And there's nothing you can ever do to not be deserving of that. And there's nothing you can do to become more deserving of that. You're lovable just because you are, just because you're alive. And that's your birthright. That's everyone's birthright. It's just unconditional love from the universe. And sometimes we don't see angels or we don't see beings of light necessarily, but just even envision a color. And when you connect to this, you're connecting to that energy, this universal energy, this love, this true divine love, which is always available to us. And when we take a moment to tap into this, we can realize how silly it is that we ever would think that we as souls are defined by how we connect with another being. Because we are light on our own. We are a whole soul on our own. And we shine brightly our own lights. Various colors of lights. We're like sparkling lights. We just never stop. And as we've said before, we impact everyone and everything around us. That's why it's so vital for us to take care of ourselves. To trust our intuition, to trust what we feel, to eat the foods we're guided to eat. And to also avoid certain situations and people that we feel are no longer serving us and that aren't healthy for us. And that's not something for us to feel guilty about. It's like we have an internal GPS that we can trust. And only we know where we need to go. And no one else can tell us where to go, or what to do, or what to eat, or what to drink. There's no right or wrong here. If you just trust yourself, you'll never be led in the wrong direction. So take a minute to just, you can either put one hand or both hands, it's up to you, over your heart, and just at least have one. And just kind of breathe for a few minutes, and I just want you to feel whatever rhythm is going on right now in your heart. There's no right or wrong. It could be fast, it could be slow. Either way, it's perfect. And when you feel this, you feel your true self. You feel your purpose. You feel how unique and special you are. You feel that you're alive. And that this is a gift every single day. This is something to be celebrated every day. You deserve to be celebrated by you every day. Not just on holidays, when people tell you to celebrate. When someone thinks you deserve to be celebrating an accomplishment. Living a human experience is very difficult at times. And you've gotten through a lot of stuff so far. And you should be very proud of how far you've come. And you're doing such a great job. And the fact that you put positive intentions out there is huge. That says it all. Towards yourself and towards others. Even if you don't know the right words to say. Just envisioning light around certain people, places, or situations is really shielding us all. And showering us all with love. So you're really doing a greater service than you could ever realize. And not just by your day job or by doing all the things you love. Those things are great to do. And there's many ways you can give back to this planet, to this universe. But even the small things make a big difference, and they really matter. Like envisioning light, envisioning love, sending positive thoughts out there. These things truly make a huge impact. So don't forget that. And now I want you to imagine that you're a baby again, like you were in this life. And you can be in the hospital room and you're alive. You're very much alive. And when you look around, you see so much love. And though adults may be fearful because they claim that this is a fearful world and it's a tough place to be, you see so much love for you just because you're you, just because you're alive. There may be family members around, but not only do you see loving humans around looking at you with lots of love, you're not closed off at this point in your life. You're very open. So you're able to see light and you're able to see love and ancestors and people that have passed on a long time ago. Any kind of spirit guides or angels. You could see everything. You see so much love and you're not blocked at all. And do you see how perfectly imperfect you are as this baby? And when you need to express yourself, you do, and you can cry and you don't feel bad about it. And you're still loved. And when you want something, you don't know how to ask for it, you cry about it and you're still loved. There's nothing you can do to make you unloved. And even if your parents don't know how to love you unconditionally or perfectly because they are humans, you send them light and love and forgiveness. And you just see all of the love that comes to you from the other side. This love never goes away. This love has never left you since you were that young. And this love will never leave you. And can never leave you, and would never want to leave you for the rest of your lives. So now do you really see how silly it is to think that your worth and that the definition of who you are and what your purpose is would lie in someone else's hands? That your relationship with someone else would define your life? Because life is so much bigger than one relationship. Life is so much bigger than all of your relationships. And remember that the family that you chose in this life was for a reason, that you planned everything out perfectly. Same as all the relationships you've ever had, romantically or friendships. Your souls planned all of this out perfectly. And if you were supposed to learn a certain lesson and then you were to part, then you did. But if you were meant to stay together, then you did. If you were meant to part and then come back together, you did. Or you will. There's nothing to worry about. Everything is always happening at the perfect time, at the perfect place, in the perfect way. And you have free will, and you have choices that you can make. But don't forget that you also have a really good navigation system within yourself, your intuition, which can lead you everywhere that you're meant to go in this life. And as we were a child, sometimes people said really mean stuff to us because they didn't feel loved. Maybe even family members. Sometimes people even said to us that we were a mistake. There's no such thing as being a mistake. And even if your parents have ever said that you or a sibling wasn't planned, you truly were planned by the divine. And you chose to come here for a reason, because you have a purpose. And maybe they're not conscious of that, but that's not what matters. And things can seem tainted, like I said earlier, with the color green. We can either choose to think money and greed and jealousy, or we can choose to think of growth and freshness and spring. The choice is always ours. And the same thing goes for seeing things and seeing ourselves as being either tainted, or the world is really hard, or we can see ourselves as perfectly imperfect human beings who are very loved. And we can see ourselves as this innocent baby, as this innocent child, and to allow ourselves to be childlike at times, because it's so healing, especially for our heart, to do what we love. And there's nothing wrong with embracing that part of you who is very much an innocent child. And this isn't naive. This is what brings you to life. Of course, we may have obligations like paying bills and paying rent and all of these things that we have to do as we get older. And that's why it's so much more important now to allow yourself to be a child at times. To remember to let go. To paint or to draw or even write our name out with our left hand or with our right hand if you're left-handed. Just to do something in the spur of the moment, just for the sake of doing it. Not to impress anyone else, just because we feel like it. And this inner child lives within you all the time. And sometimes it throws a tantrum and it screams and tries to get your attention. But it doesn't have to be that way. This can be a very well-behaved child within you if you just listen to it. And you allow yourself to play. And you allow yourself to rest when you feel you need to rest, without feeling guilty about it. And send love to this inner child, because they feel emotions too. And you may have memories from when you were a child, from when things really hurt your feelings. And sometimes we carry this through the rest of this life. And sometimes we forget about it and we bury it, and it'll come back at certain points in our lives, and that's okay. It comes up for your healing. But always send love to this child, to you. Even look at pictures from when you were a child, and this can help, this process. When you look at yourself when you were younger, don't you just see the spark within them, the light within them, the divine within them, how perfectly imperfect they are. You deserve to treat yourself like that now too. If you were babysitting yourself, you see yourself running around, of course, at certain times you would misbehave or you would act out, and older you would get kind of frustrated. But you wouldn't abuse that child or get mad at that child for a very long time, because that child is just living and loving. And if you put that child back inside of you to now, you can realize that you can be like that to yourself now. You don't have to get so angry with yourself at times. It's okay to allow your inner child to want to play, to want to rest, to just want to do things for fun sometimes. To live in the moment. That's what kids are great for. And they're very intuitive, and they trust themselves. And this is why they're able to see light and love. And it is possible for us to get back to that point. Of course, not having to forget about everything that we have to deal with in our day-to-day life. It's about finding a balance between being an adult and allowing ourselves to be a child. And the additional message for today is dreams, which is kind of funny because we were talking earlier about having some pretty weird dreams over this past little while. And a lot of messages we get are through dreams, and even if we don't remember them when we wake up, we can rest assured that those messages are within our being, and that we'll know exactly what we're supposed to, again, at the perfect time. Sometimes we might even go throughout our day and then something will spark our memory and we'll remember the dream that we had the night prior. However it happens for you is perfect. Dreams are another way that we can connect with loved ones who've already passed on. So when you have dreams about those people or those pets, it's definitely a great time to visit and acknowledge that. Acknowledge that you're still able to connect with those that you've loved in the past. That you're still able to send love their way, and they're very much sending love your way. So again, love is much bigger than what's on this physical plane right now and what's in front of your eyes. Love is a feeling. Love is an energy that you can connect to at any time. Even if you ask before you go to sleep to see someone or something, you may be guided to that. So that's another great way to connect to love. So envision again that this light fills the room. White light, it could be purple light, it could be green light, any kind of light that you wish is in this room and is around you and is inside of you, and this light will always stay within you forever. And this doesn't mean that you won't go through dark times in this life, because you will, as you know. You've been through many of them. But you've survived a lot of them. And you will continue to do so. And you're always able to connect back to this love at any time that you choose. So breathe that love in. And let us give thanks to all of the people who watch over us every single day, whether that's past loved ones or guides of any sort. We can thank the light, we can thank the love that is always with us, within us, around us. Thank all the souls that we've interacted with in past lives, in this life. We can even send thank you to those we haven't even met yet that will play an important role in our life. Thanking those special soulmates who show us the good and the bad about ourselves. Thanking our blood family, though they may challenge us at times, and our friends as well. Everyone's always doing the best that they can from their perspective, from their point of view. And so are you. And as long as you listen to yourself and try your best, you can't go wrong. And when you're ready, you can slowly start to move your hands and your feet and open your eyes.